Floss Tube, and welcome to another video. It is very dreary and rainy today, so I thought, let's film a video. Anyway, I've had an interesting week. I've actually had 2 days where I did no stitching at all, and I can't believe it because I usually stitch for hours every day, but I will show you why. So last time I mentioned that I was doing a thread reorganization project, and because I have so many projects going on, and some of them use specialty threads and silk, and that's wonderful, but I have 3 HAEDs going on right now, and one uses 150 colors, one 160, and one like 88. So I had a lot of like floss boxes and finding where each floss was and in which box, and not wanting to have 3 of some colors and everything just led me to centralize everything a little bit. So hence I now own every DMC standard regular floss. So I don't have any H-walls or variegated or rayon or pearl cotton or anything like that. But the typical DMC floss, I have all of them. And I also am kind of getting in the mood to do some seasonal stitching and to do little things and maybe some decorative stuff and maybe some gift stuff and gift projects. And so I just needed thread. So anyway, everything is bobbinated, labeled, in order, in 3 of these nice boxes. These are the art bin boxes, and I get these at Joann's, and I think they're like $15, but you know, always take a coupon in, never pay full price. And it was funny that I finished putting all of the threads in at like almost 1 o'clock in the morning this morning, and there were like 11 that I had in like a 4th box, and it was like a little box. I didn't buy 4 of these big boxes, and I was like, oh no, you are fitting in 3 boxes. So I had to kind of go back to the beginning and sort of scrunch them up just a little bit more, and I was able to fit everything in all of the boxes, all of the threads in all of the boxes. And I've got all of the 1 to 35s, and I have the newest colors actually in my craft stores. Were in like a separate sort of package, like a plastic package. But anyway, so this is, instead of doing travel stitching some days and instead of doing stitching some nights, I actually worked on this project. But I think it will really be helpful because I want to be able to just, you know, have the DMC on hand and not have to worry about it. And so I think that would be okay. But anyway, so this was the project, and this was where some of my stitching time went this week. And actually, how I organized it, or how I helped myself stay organized, is I ended up just printing out the DMC Shoppers Checklist 2019. And I just checked off everything that I had. And I started out by, I have a couple of new patterns that I am thinking about starting. So I checked off the ones that I would need to do those projects, and I ended up buying those. And then I was like, wait a minute, why don't I just buy the rest? Because I have some wonderful coupons for like 30% off the whole purchase and the like. So I ended up in a couple of different batches. I ended up buying, I think it was like 219 colors to finish off the project. I think it was worth it. I hope it's worth it because I spent a lot of time on it. So anyway, so all of that to preface like why my progress hasn't been as much on my whips this week as it has been on previous weeks. But first, so my main piece for the past couple of months has been my Heaven and Earth Design Treasure Hunt bookshelf, artwork by Amy Stewart. So let me show you what the artwork looks like. And then this is what it looked like last time. And this is what it looks like now. I had plans of doing a page finish, but no. I did like a third of a page maybe. So I did make some progress and everything, but I actually haven't worked on this in like 4 or 5 days, and I'm like, I feel really sad. But so this is the point at which we have like the arm and the lantern, and it's interesting because up close, I think there aren't even any sort of like outlines of an arm. I don't know if you can see if there's supposed to be an arm there, but anyway, I'm working on the bonnet and the hair, and then of course the background books and the top part of the dress. So I'm finally to the figure. I think that's really exciting, and I hope that by the next time you see this, I will have finished this 6th page. But we'll see, because this coming week is Halloween, and I have some other meetings that, frankly, I'd rather be stitching than going to. But you know, life stuff, etc. So anyway, yeah, goal is 6th page finish, and then I don't know what I'm going to do, because I might have enough space to do another page here, you know, here and here. And then, you know, I can potentially fit 12 pages on this, but it might be a little tight. So I am going to have to start thinking about the next step. And again, do I just get out the Q-snap extenders and extend it the long way, or both ways, or just one way? And I don't know, but anyhow, in the next couple of months, it will be imminent to think about if I want to put this on a different kind of frame or not. We'll see. I also made progress on my travel stitching, and so let me show you what the pattern looks like. And this is what it looked like last time. And this is what it looks like this time. This is called Rosette, and it is stitched on 28 count Wichelt linen in Riviera Aqua, and just B5200, all the thread. And I didn't get a ton done, but I got mainly worked in here and made some good progress, and I'm happy with it. And it's funny, I have the pattern on my iPad, and I can actually see the pattern through my fabric. So if I'm stitching and the iPad is on my lap, I don't even have to like move the piece aside or have my iPad over to the side or down on the floor. I can actually just see right through the fabric. So anyway, I think it's turning out really well. I still don't know how I'm going to finish it. I've had people tell me like maybe a pillow, but I've never done that. I'm definitely going to finish it myself though. I'm not having it professionally framed, but it is pretty, and hopefully it will be something really pretty when I'm done. So that's that. And let me show you my Mirabilia Lady Hera. So here is Lady Hera by Mirabilia. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. And let me show you what it looked like last time. And this is what it looks like now. So I haven't done a lot with this. I will show you that I basically did mostly this stitching. So it was really just like 45 minutes on this. And I tried to kind of get back into this, but unfortunately the page break is right in the middle of these flowers, and there are lots of colors and beads here and different teals and stuff, and so it's just difficult to sit down and figure out like what I've done and what I haven't done. and everything. So it's a, unfortunate page break placement. But anyway, I just wanted to show you, this is Lady Hera. The other thing that I got into this week is starting to dye my own fabrics. And I started watching Married with Stitches, which if you haven't watched their channel, they're hilarious, and I think they hand dye everything for their own projects. And so that led me to think, why don't I just do some hand dyeing? Because I love the hand dyed fabrics and they're expensive, and I just, why don't I just do it myself? Just give it a try. And I watched some YouTube videos on it, and I am very much a novice, I assure you, at all of this, but I was really happy with how easy it was, because I ended up just buying the bottles of like RIT dye from the craft store and some gloves, and I needed like some glass bowls and a measuring spoon, and that was it. Just hot water. And I also had like a drying rack and some towels and other things like that, but I didn't have to buy much at all to start dyeing. So I kind of, at first, I just grabbed what I had on hand, which is not a lot. I've got a couple of hand dyed fabrics, like 2 in my stash, no 3, that are sort of earmarked for projects, and I wasn't going to touch those. But as far as like plain linen, I didn't have a lot. I did have from a kit some Aida, which is maybe 16 count. But anyway, so let me show you. I think the color is coming out pretty good. What I did is like a blue with a little bit of purple dye, and I submerged the whole thing, and then I scrunched it up, and I poured over a pure purple dye on it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I don't know what I'm going to do on this yet, have no idea, but this was just sort of like a test, and I really liked how it turned out. So this was one thing that I did. Now the other thing that I did is I tried dyeing, I had some white even weave, 25 count, just from the craft store, and that did not work out so much. I liked the color, but what happened is that and I know this can happen, that the fabric just sort of shrunk up, and I did stretch it pretty aggressively several times when it was still wet, but it still shrunk up. And sometimes I'm too persistent with things, and I've been in the Halloween mood, and so I decided to start Halloween Cat by Satsuma Street. And it's lovely, and I started stitching it right away. I've always loved their patterns, and so I thought this is perfect. But let me show you what it looks like now, and it looks nice. But this fabric, I cannot stitch on it because it is so difficult to poke the needle through. I thought about even like switching to like an embroidery needle or a chenille needle that has a point to it, but just drawing 2 strands of DMC floss through this is like, it's so laborious. It hurts. You can really hear the thread, up and down, that I have to restart it. So I was able to locate at, I went to a different craft store that is out of my way, still like a big box craft store. And I was actually able to find 3 pieces of white linen. So one of those pieces is earmarked to be dyed again. And so I'll probably do something similar, like blue and purple. And I'm going to restart, and this is going in the trash, which I don't like, and that makes me sad, but I realize I'm like, I cannot stitch this. It's not just one figure. There's, you know, a lot to it, and it slows me down so much, and it's really laborious. The other thing I did is I had a bunch of natural linen, and I wasn't going to dye that, but I was just itching to, you know, dye it, and I got a new pattern. Actually, I got many new patterns, but I got a new pattern that I've had my eye on for a long time, and I love, and I really wanted to start, and I didn't want to just use natural linen. So I dyed natural linen, and let me show you first the pattern that's being stitched on it. It's called Monkshood, and it's a Nora Corbett. And I will show you what it looks like now. So here is Monkshood by Nora Corbett, and this is stitched on 28 count natural linen that I have dyed myself. And what I did is I did some subtle brown dye, and then over that a little bit more dramatic purple dye. And the color of the purple is closest to 553 if you have ever stitched with 553. So I really like how it came out. I've made a fair amount of progress in here, and it's actually funny. I stitched the face, and again, it was like late at night, and I stitched it, and I thought, oh yes, I'm done. And I had stitched the hair and the hood and the top part of the bodice and everything, and then I realized I had wanted to stitch it over one over one. So the next day I had to frog all of it, this is not a lot, so this is not a big deal. But I had to frog all of it, and then I also decided to make some changes. So I'll show you a close-up. The mouth was just one stitch, so it would have been like a square of stitches, and I added just 2 here, and then there was nothing for the eye, so I just added a double back stitch there, and then I actually went back again, and I picked out some of the black stitching because it really cut into her face, and the back stitching didn't cover it. So I did quite a bit of sort of redoing, and I was finally happy with how it came out. But I really, really love this, made good progress on it, and I've only worked on it in a couple of sittings, and I'm hoping to, you know, make a lot more and get it done fairly soon. So anyway, this is Nora Corbett's Monkshood. So anyway, that has been my dyeing, and I've got some holiday stitching and seasonal stitching plans, and I'm going to hand dye some pieces for those probably today, right after I finish filming this video. And so in the next one, maybe, hopefully I'll be able to show you. They'll come out okay. And I'm taking just white linen this time, and I'm, in some cases, leaving it whole and cutting it up in others. And I'm going to be doing some like green and red and blue and other, you know, other colors to do some seasonal stitching. So anyway, I thought that was good. Let me show you some patterns that I got. Okay, well, first of all, I found The Raven by La Di Da, and it's got, of course, the famous quote. And the model that this was stitched on in the shop that actually my mom went to, and I was home, and she actually FaceTimed me so that I could kind of see the shop in real time, and she could show me patterns, and I got to pick a few things out that she would pick up for me. So thank you, Mom, you're wonderful. But anyway, the model was stitched on like a dark blue hand dyed, so I think I might try to do something for this. So this is lovely. And I got some other Nora Corbetts. So So Miss Colombian Nymphalid, which I think is pretty cute. And then this is Moonlight Laguna Mermaid. And I think I've actually seen this stitched without the border around it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet though. And then Miss Beetle. And Bleeding Heart. And Thistle. And I think that, I mean, all of these, I think I would do a little bit of alteration, well, with the exception of the Nymphalid, which she's faced away, and the Mermaid. They're both kind of faced away. But I would probably do a little bit of alteration on the faces to include, you know, in some cases there's a total blank space where an eye should be and there's nothing stitched for the eye. So I would probably stitch something. But anyway, I did that. And then I got a couple of Plum Street samplers. I picked up the Fox, or Fox Few is what it's called. Sorry for the glare. And this is so cute. I can't wait to stitch this. And then the Tire Trio, which is the sloths. So probably the next time I get to kind of be in a shop, I will probably purchase, and maybe I'll order them, but I will probably purchase some of the threads for this. And I think I'll probably stitch these on natural linen as well. So those are really cute. And so this brings me to kind of like future plans, because I have decided for 2020 to do Stitch the Seasons. And so the idea is for every season to at least start and maybe finish one piece that is clearly seasonal. And so it could be, I mean, Lavender and Lace and Mirabilia and Nora Corbett have all done patterns that are seasonal. And then I picked up this one, Plum Street Samplers. This is a little bit simpler. It says Hello Winter. And I love the whole series. And I also love the Drawn Threads Welcome Winter. And so I'm starting with winter, and I'm doing at least one seasonal piece for a total of 4 for the year. And if it's something small like this, my goal is to finish it by the end of that season, so that by the end of 2020, I have 4 pieces that I can kind of rotate out on during the following years and have them. So anyway, Stitching the Seasons is one thing that I'm doing, and I'm considering a couple of other stitch alongs. So I'd be curious if any of you are doing any stitch alongs for 2020 and what they are, because I have my eye on a couple, and I've sort of been trolling the web a little bit in videos to see what people are doing for stitch alongs for 2020. So anyway, I think that's it. I will see you next week, hopefully, and I'm hoping to have more things to show you, cool things to show you, and I hope you guys get a lot of stitching done this week, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.